Okay, so we're beginning around line 45 on page 169. With that, the bright-eyed goddess sped away to Olympus, where, they say, the god's eternal mansion stands unmoved, never rocked by gale winds, never drenched by rains, nor do the drifting snows assail it. No, the clear air stretches away without a cloud, and at a great radiance plays across the world where the blithe gods live all their days in bliss. There Athena went, once the bright-eyed one had urged the princess on. Dawn soon rose on her splendid throne and woke Nausicaa fully gowned. Still beguiled by her dream, down she went through the house to tell her parents now, her beloved father and mother. She found them inside. Her mother sat at the hearth with several waiting women, spinning yarn on a spindle, lustrous sea-blue wool. Her father she met as he left to join the lords at a council island nobles asked him to attend. She stepped up close to him, confiding, "Daddy dear, I wonder, won't you have them harness a wagon for me, the tall one with the good smooth wheels, so I can take our clothes to the river for a washing?" "Lovely things, but lying before me all soiled. And you yourself, sitting among the princes, debating points at your council, you really should be wearing spotless linen. Then you have 5 sons, full grown in the palace, 2 of them married, but 3 are lusty bachelors, always demanding crisp shirts fresh from the wash when they go out to dance. Look at my duties. That all rests on me." So she coaxed, too shy to touch on her hopes for marriage, young warm hopes in her father's presence. But he saw through it all and answered quickly, "I won't deny you the mules, my darling girl. I won't deny you anything. Off you go, and the men will harness a wagon, the tall one with the good smooth wheels, fitted out with a cradle on the top." With that he called to the stablemen, and they complied. They trundled the wagon out now, rolling smoothly, backed the mule team into their traces, hitched them up while the princess brought her finery from the room, and piled it into the wagon's polished cradle. Her mother packed a hamper, treats of all kinds, favorite things to refresh her daughter's spirits, poured wine in a skin, and as Nausicaa climbed aboard, the queen gave her a golden flask of supplying olive oil for her and her maids to smooth on after bathing. Then, taking the whip in her hand and glistening reins, she touched the mules to a start, and out they clattered, trotting on at a clip, bearing the princess and her clothes, and not alone, her maids went with her, stepping briskly too. Once they reached the banks of the river, flowing strong where the pools would never fail, with plenty of water, cool and clear, bubbling up and rushing through to scour the darkest stains. They loosed the mules out from under the wagon yoke and chased them down the river's rippling banks to graze on luscious clover. Down from the cradle they lifted clothes by the armload, plunged them into the dark pools, and stamped them down in the hollows, one girl racing for the next to finish first until they'd scoured and rinsed the next to finish first, or one girl racing the next to finish first until they scoured and rinsed off all the grime. Then they spread them out in a line along the beach where the surf had washed a pebbly scree ashore. And once they'd bathed and smoothed their skin with oil, they took their picnic, sitting along the river banks and waiting for all the clothes to dry in the hot noon sun. Now, fed to their heart's content, the princess and her retinue threw their veils to the wind, struck up a game of ball. White-armed Nausicaa led their singing, dancing beat, as lithe Artemis with her arrows striding down from a high peak, Taygetus's towering ridge, or Erymanthus, thrilled to race with the wild boar or bounding deer, and nymphs of the hills race with her, daughters of Zeus, whose shield is storm and thunder, ranging the hills in sport, and Leto's heart exults as head and shoulders up over the rest of her daughter rises. Unmistakable, she outshines them all, though all are lovely. So Nausicaa shone among her maids, a virgin, still unwed. But now, as she set about to fold her clothes and yoke the mules and turn for home again, now clear-eyed Pallas thought of what came next, to make Odysseus wake and see this young beauty. And she would lead him to the Phaeacians' town. The ball. The princess suddenly tossed it to a maid, but it missed the girl. It splashed in a deep swirling pool, and they all shouted out. And that woke great Odysseus. He sat up with a start, puzzling, his heart pounding. Man of misery, whose land have I lit on now? What are they here? Violent, savage, lawless, or friendly to strangers, God-fearing men? Listen, shouting, echoing around me, women, girls, or the nymphs who haunt the rugged mountain tops and the river springs and meadows lush with grass. Or am I really close to people who speak my language? Up with you. See how the land lies. See for yourself now. We're going to pause here and answer another question.